Hello, I'm Sam Parker, this is Lincoln City writer Leigh Curtis, and welcome to a very special edition of City Slickers. Lincoln City stand on the verge of dropping down into non-league for the first time since 1987, and tomorrow at Sincilbank they play Aldershot Town. They'll also be relying on results elsewhere should they fail to win against the team from Hampshire. Leigh, it's been a long season.
Has indeed.
And we've had all sorts of problems on and off the pitch at Lincoln City. And the whole season now comes down to just one game against Aldershot, or potentially two games, with Barnet's game, of course, against Port Vale against Underhill. What is your gut feeling sitting here about what's going to happen on Saturday?
I've gone through so many scenarios, but one keeps coming back. I still believe Lincoln will do it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Do you think they'll do it themselves, or do you think they'll have to rely on results elsewhere?
I think they'll do it themselves. I think the players know what's at stake now. I know they haven't won in the last 10 games. I just think this is a one-off game. It's going to have to be treated like a cup final. There'll be 7,000 fans inside the stadium, all willing them to go on. I don't think there'll be any moaning in this stadium whatsoever. The whole city is behind the team, and I still think that will be enough to inspire them. That all they had to do was listen to Clark Kelty's words in the press conference, and that should inspire the rest of them to go out and put on a performance and get themselves over the finishing line.
It's going to be strange there, isn't it? Because news is going to be filtering through constantly, and that does get to the players. In respect to what they say, it does get to the players. Yeah. And you feel that whichever team, Barnet or Lincoln, gets the early goal, they'll have the momentum going on throughout the afternoon.
Absolutely. It's easier said than done. People say, well, you should just concentrate on what your own job is, but I suppose it's like anything when you go out and play a game on a football pitch. I suppose really news filtering down from the stands about Barnet winning really shouldn't really affect your concentration, because Lincoln know at the end of the day if they secure a win they are in the Football League. It's as simple as that. Even if Barnet win, it doesn't matter. As long as Lincoln get 3 points tomorrow, that's all that matters, and they'll be safe.
Danny Hone suspended, of course, for the game against Aldershot. There's going to be a bit of a reshuffling that's happening. What do you expect Steve Tilson to do, and what formation do you think he'll go for?
I mean, that's been one of the problems of the season. The back line has been shifted and shunted around so many times because of injury, suspension, and lack of form. And again tomorrow it's going to be another back four out there. I think Greeny's position, at centre back, he's very confident, very calm. The performance I've seen from his centre back has been very, very good. I think King Houghton obviously go to right back to compensate for Greeny's moving to the centre of defence. So, I think the back four, it's going to be a tough afternoon for them because there's a lot of, as we all know, the major problems of this season has come with the back four. So, but I just think attack will be the best form of defence tomorrow. I'm hoping that Lincoln can go out and make a bright, positive start. If they can get an early goal, that'll set the fans off, into giving them some sort of inspiration from the stands, and hopefully that'll rub off even more, and they can go on and secure a comfortable victory.
OK, Leigh was at the press conference on Thursday. We're going to hear from Imps midfielder Clark Kelty in a second, but first here's manager Steve Tilson.
No, it'd be huge because I want to do so well for the chairman because he's, for me, he's a good man. He wants the club to do well. Yeah, we know there's not a huge budget. Everyone knows that. But, his heart is in the club. He's obviously stuck by us. The fans have been fantastic. And just for that reason alone, I want to do well. Obviously want to stay in the league and then prove that we can, build a side to go forward.
And in terms of achievements, given what you face this season, there's been a lot of problems, haven't there? I think you've had to overcome. Without a doubt, it'd be up there. Just because, the importance. I mean, on one game off, it's probably the most important game I've been in charge of. Yeah. Did you ever envisage that it'd get to this point? I mean, 10 games ago, and you had 46 points, did you?
No, I think. And nor did you lot, because you kept talking about playoffs. And I never believed that. We weren't good enough for playoffs. Knowing loan players were going to have to go back, it was going to be more difficult. But looking back, you think with 10 games to go, you should be able to get them points. But once you get on a losing run, it's tough to get out of. And we have, to be fair, we've put in some decent performances especially away from home. But we haven't quite got our just rewards. But Saturday is a one-off. It's a cup final, and we've got to go and win it.
How would you sum it up?
Not good enough. No. Simple as that. Not good enough. players we've had at our disposal. Change of management doesn't help, in my opinion, but
Why? Just because
it disrupts, you know, and every manager that comes in likes to bring their own players in. I've had that at every single club I've been at. They all like to bring their own players in, and it's a case of, you know, gelling together. But if we're, you know, brutally honest, not good enough, really.
It's intriguing what you say about young players and criticisms, and this saying that you've all got to come together. Has that happened enough this season, do you think?
No, well, clearly not. The league table would tell you that, really, wouldn't it? We have had some team bonding sessions, you know, paintballing, going out for meals and stuff, but I don't think we've done it enough. A lot of lads, you know, some people have got families and stuff, you know, and it is, you know, for example, myself, I have family back home in Newcastle, and you don't get to see them much, but your job must come first, I feel, you know, and I've restricted that as much as I can, trying to stay down here and do things right, you know. Whether or not the team as a whole have done that, I don't know, but I just feel whatever's happened now is irrelevant. I really feel it's irrelevant now, and I just feel it's about Saturday. It's simple as that, you know. It's about 3 o'clock Saturday when we go out there. People can say all they want. The gaffer can say all he wants. Brushy, Scott, they can say all they want, you know. But it's down to us. And if I'm honest, I'm raring to go, to be honest with you.
Okay, that was a very passionate Clark Kelty there. Leigh, I know you're very impressed by what Clark said in the press conference. He seems very fired up for this game, doesn't he?
Yeah, and you know, it's probably one of the members of the squad that you probably least expect to do so. You know, Clark's has had a very frustrating season. Injuries ruled him out for a lot of it, but I thought he was excellent yesterday. If there was one person that needed to get a message across, it needed to be one of the experienced players. And he stepped up to the plate. I think his message was clear, concise, it was coherent, and you know, quite clearly he knows what he wants to do. He knows he's raring to go. You can quite clearly see that. You know, it was a message which was full of common sense. Really, it was, let's forget about what's gone on in the previous 45 games. It all comes down to this final game, and you know, and I think if he is on the pitch, I certainly think he will give 110%. And as we saw from his performance in the first half against Oxford last week, especially, you know, he's a good player. You know, he's someone you want in the team because he's calm, composed on the ball, and that's how he was in the press conference yesterday.
Leigh, with all that being said, it's predictions time now for the final game of the season. What do you think is going to happen at Sincilbank, and also what do you think is going to happen at Underhill?
Like I said, you know, I've gone through it so many times in my head. I still believe Lincoln will do it. I think they'll come away with a 1-0 win, but I also believe that Barnet will win as well. I think they're on a good vein of form at the minute. And to be fair, they've got Isao McLeod, who for me shouldn't really be playing at this level. And if he turns up, you know, he can turn a game just like that. So I think they'll win 2-1. But that will wouldn't really matter because Lincoln will get 3 points to keep themselves in the league.
Okay, we hope to see you at Sincilbank on Saturday. If you can't be there, John Pakey will be in the Big Match Live hot seat from around 2:15 with all the atmosphere and all the team news from Sincilbank. We'll also have special video going up on the website on Saturday as well.
And don't forget, you can read all the analysis and reaction extended coverage in Monday's Lincolnshire Echo, price 38p.
Okay, hopefully the next time we speak to you will still be a league club.
Up the Imps.
Cheers.
Cheers.